Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Video Game Memories. We're on the big number 3 now. So today we're going to be doing The Legend of Zelda. Now unfortunately I don't have a physical copy of this one, but back in 1986 a legend was born. A legend that became something big. Obviously it was called The Legend of Zelda. It originally came out for the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, back in 1986 and was the first form of open world game that we'd ever see in a home console. I was too young at the time to have it myself. I was like 2 years old when that game came out, so I don't have nostalgic memories growing up with this game or anything. I think the first one I ever tried when I was very young was The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Now this originally released on the Super Nintendo back in 1991. This here is a re-release, a later version. This was for the Game Boy Advance, but it's the same game. I owned that, I played through it, it was very good. It was the first use of 16-bit graphics, and yeah, I had some great memories with that game. But the game that I have the most fond memories for, out of all the Zeldas, was in 1998 the game got released. That game was The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. This game was one hell of a revolution. It was absolutely fantastic. It was 3D, the first 3D, proper 3D game on the Nintendo 64. When the game first came out, being a kid, which I wasn't a very organised person, not that I am today. So when the game came out, I had the money saved up for it and everything. It took me about 2 months after the release of the game for me to finally get one. And that's because it was impossible to get. Everywhere it was sold out. Every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I'd be going in and out of every shop in the whole area, trying to get a copy of Ocarina of Time. Lesson learned. In the end, I prevailed. I got my game. I got Ocarina of Time eventually. 2 years later, a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time came out. And that game was Majora's Mask, which too was on the N64. This one kicks off after the events of Ocarina of Time, where he leaves Hyrule, goes to a little place called Termina, where up there's a huge moon in the sky with a face and it's crash landing to Earth. You've got exactly 72 hours to save the world, well, from the destruction of this moon. Yeah, probably not one of the best entries in the series. A lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it. I'm one of the people that love it. But what's more is that this one came with this cartridge. I mean, look at it, it's gold! You don't get much better than that. All the rest are grey, but this is gold. And wow, this is well looked after. It's in brand new condition. But it's definitely got the best cartridge. I can tell you that much. Soon after that, in 2006, The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess came out for both the GameCube and the Nintendo Wii. Now, this game was the use of 128-bit graphics. It had a system where you could transform into a wolf to and from, introducing some new features and all of that. Brilliant game. Again, my heart's set with Ocarina of Time. And then in 2013, we got A Link Between Worlds. Now this one feels like a spiritual successor to A Link to the Past. Now, some people think of it as a sequel to A Link to the Past. So basically, it's a top-down game like A Link to the Past was, Obviously it's got much better graphics and everything, and the world setting is exactly the same. It's like you're playing the same game with better graphics, but you're not. It's like the storyline's different and the dungeons and everything are different in it. But yeah, it was a very good game. In 2017 we got a game changer. We got, for the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch, we got Breath of the Wild. Now, the way I look at it is that this is a real throwback to the original game, because in the original game, you start the game and you're thrown in the middle of this big world, and it's like, well, get on with it, and you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do. And this game exactly filled those shoes. It's exactly what that did. It's a huge, huge open world game, and it just threw you in the middle of it, and it's just like, there you go, explore the world. Well, okay. Luckily, the game didn't have to be done in specific order. So every time you play through the game, if you're brave enough to do it more than once, it is a different experience every time. Definitely a 10 out of 10, and you know, people were asking something different and we got it. Very recently, in 2019, the latest Zelda game, which is actually a remake of the 1993 Game Boy Classic Link's Awakening here for the Switch. Again, it kept the top-down formula just like the original. I like the cel-shaded graphics of it. It's definitely a very good game. But as I said earlier, my heart goes out to Ocarina of Time, because that's the one that I've got the most nostalgic memories with. You know, me and my mate playing this one. No internet to help you out. Not really any strategy guides, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. It's a masterpiece, and it will always hold #1 in my heart. I think that's probably going to do it for this week's episode of Video Game Memories. Guys, if you want to follow me on social media, which is just here at MattDoesGaming5 on both Instagram and Twitter, please come follow me. And if you want to email me personally, MattDoesGaming5@gmail.com. Alright guys, until the next one.